Hey, welcome back. All right, so we do have our orders here and their details. Even though the details are showing only on one side, which is not what we want them to show throughout here. So what I will do is go back here and see what we have different from here and the other side. And immediately the thing I see is I have this class here, details and hide, but I don't have that on the other side. So I think it's details that I need, because it seems hide seems to work just fine because it's part of Bootstrap, I think. So far it's working fine. So that can't be the issue. So it means we'll add a style. This is in the orders.php file. So add a style here and let's put the hide, or the details, sorry, details class. I think that's the one that's missing. Refresh again, click, and there we go. So problem solved, just like that. All right, so looking pretty good. This is order number and so on and so forth. Now, the only thing missing on these orders is the name of the person that ordered these items, because we need to know who ordered, because here I'm viewing these as the admin. So I need to know who ordered this. So let's go to our models here and see the user class, for example. So this already has details to get user details, right? So let's see here for a second. Log out, get user with a URL. So we didn't actually plot that yet. We didn't put any code for that, and that's no biggie. We can do that real quick. So what I will do here is let me copy that from there, put it here. Let me simply change it to new instance to avoid any problems, because it seems our singleton isn't working as we thought it should. And then from there I want db read, something like this. I actually want all of this, which is here. So copy that, copy. So I'm copying this from the check login function, and I will put it here. So yeah, so I can get a user's details like this. So return result. Ooh. At this point, if we get to this point, we must return something. So return false, yes, just in case. So if we have a URL, it's going to be this one. So URL is equal to, let's add slashes here. All right. And then let's do select all from users where use URL address is equal to limit 1. Okay, so everything else is all good. So get user should be working fine there. Okay, so let's come back here for a second. Now, as usual, we can't do any business logic in the view. So we're going to go to the admin.php inside orders. This is where we have to get the users, right? Now for each order there's only one user, right? So right here where we're adding the grand total, adding some more detail, this is the perfect place to add a user as well there. So we're simply going to add one thing here instead of grand total, and we're going to say user right there. Or we can call it owner or user. That's entirely up to you here. But if we go inside the database, inside orders, let's make sure that we don't have that kind of thing. Okay, so we have user URL, that's okay. So now we can add user there, and then let's put user here. Only thing is we have to create this variable now. So I'm just going to say Now, usually here, one thing I forgot, usually when we get the details, we're going to find some details one way or another, but sometimes you find that the details table may be broken or something. Then it means total is not going to return an array. So this is going to return an error here, array column. So it would be a good idea to put this inside an if statement and say if is array, just to avoid errors, just in case. If is array details, like so. Even though it's not really a big deal, because once you launch your website, you will need to what's the word? You're going to need to disable error reporting. Otherwise you have problems. So let's put grand total as well in there so that we don't need it. We don't add it when we don't need it. So what I can do in the beginning is I can just copy this, just put it in advance at the top there and just set it to 0. Just in case this doesn't work out, we'll still have a 0 value for grand total. All right. So then we have user detail here. So let's see if we can utilize that. Okay, so what we need now is to use the order class. So I'm going to copy that and put it here. So here I'm going to say user is equal to, and then get user here. And then of course we put a URL address there, is it? User URL, that's what it's called in the table, right? User URL, exactly. Yep, I think that that actually does it. So let me refresh here just to see. Okay, so call to undefined method get user. Ooh, okay. Oh, my bad, I'm getting it from the wrong class. I'm supposed to get it from the user class here, which is this one. So my bad, let me make sure the right class is there, and then let's refresh. Okay, so no errors, meaning we are doing good. So here I can add one more column and do the username here. So let me come back to order.php, orders.php. And right here after order number, I can put, it's up to you the order of these things. We can say customer, Mr. Customer. So right there after the ID, let's see here, customer, where are we? So that's the table head. Okay, so right here after, no, not after quantity. Oops, I'm getting confused. Okay, it's right here after order number. So let me duplicate that. And then we're going to have user, because inside there's another, yes. So there we're going to add another pointer to the username. So I forgot what we did here for users. What are the columns here anyway? So there's name. Okay, so that's all we need actually, just the name. So I'm going to say name over there. Okay, so let's give it a run and see. Okay, so there we go, we have a name. Now you may want as an admin to go and see their profile here. So we will see what we can do about that as well. Actually, that is not even difficult. What we can do is add an A tag here inside there. I'm just going to say a href, and then inside the href here, let me close that href at the end here. And inside that, we're going to add a link. So of course we will need to use root, and then after root we're going to say profile, and then profile slash. Now there's going to be the user URL there, so of course I'll put some tags there, I forgot an equal sign here, and there we will have the same thing, order user, and instead of name we will have I think it's URL address, is it? Let me come back here. Yes, it's URL address. So I may change that, URL underscore address, and then close that like so. Okay, that should do it actually. So refresh. So now you see it's a link. If I click on the link, I come to the profile, but I doubt we're actually using that for the moment. It just so happens that this is the right profile at this time, but we're going to need to fix that later on. Okay, so that you can see who ordered this and see their order details right here if you want to as an admin. So let me come back here for a second, and when I click here, also I should see order number 2, customer should be here as well. That is important. So let me come here and I'm going to click here to copy that. Okay, and move down to where it says order number, and then duplicate that. Just change this to an H4. You keep going down a notch, and paste the customer name, and I'll just write customer like that. Okay, so let's refresh and click. All right, so customer, order number, customer, and all that detail. Okay, so at least now we have the details of what was bought and for how much, etc, etc. All right, so also it's very important to have these order details here that we have here, date, because remember we didn't show everything here. So it would be nice to actually show those details at the top here before we show what was bought, so that this becomes some kind of a receipt of some kind. All right, so I'll see you in the next video where we do something like that.